Good morning. I've been building this course on how to use books in all of your courses, sort of as the mainstay for your lessons. And I've really been reflecting on is this the right thing to do and why have I chosen to do it this way? So I started this online thing many years ago, back in, I'm not even going to tell you, 2006. And we were building courses for foundation, and we're using pages and we're using lessons so that we could create some sort of page to page to lesson. And it's a lot of work and it was very difficult. And it was okay, but then Moodle decided to add, the drag and drop of files, and I think that's really been to its detriment. So now staff, and forgive me, staff are very, very busy. All the things that teachers do, hats off to all of us. But the dragging and dropping of files into courses has meant that things can be made in Word, and they drag them and drop them, and job done. But then there's issues about how to open them, and do we have the right software, and are they accessible on the telephones, and are they accessible to screen readers? So there's a series of questions there that I really don't have the answers to, which is part of the reason why I said, right, let's build everything in books, and let's do it that way, as opposed to dragging and dropping everything in. Plus, all the files that you drag and drop in, especially PowerPoint and videos, they're very heavy and they slow everything down. Also, when you put everything into a book and you've made your book for your lessons, they're a lot quicker to update. If you have to find your PowerPoint or your Word document, you have to find it, you have to change the words, you delete it, you change it out, if there's any links to it, they will change if you're doing that. There's ways around that, but it just seems to me that if you can come into Moodle, click, and you're finished, that makes more sense to me. Plus, the research that I've read and the research that I've done suggests that when staff spend a long time building these lessons, they have a bit more control in the classroom or in remote classrooms, where they know where things are, they know how things work, they know how things are supposed to work. In addition to that, because you can put the instructions right there next to the video or right there next to the activity, there should be less time giving instructions, there should be less time checking your instructions, and there should be less time being asked by students via email, via messenger, via whatever they use, saying, how do I do this? What do I do next? Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. The process is all there for the students. Additionally, because it's all bite-sized, it should be all deal-withable. I'm not sure about that being the best English, but students should be able to come in and go, right, I've got that. And then they get to practice that. And then they should be able to produce that in some way. That's just sort of Vygotsky's ZPD. As you make a series of those, that's your scaffolding. From the student side, books should be more accessible, not only to screen readers, but also to students who are opening their courses on their telephones from the coffee shop, which has really weak internet, or from the airport, or wherever it is that they are. Secondly, because the process is right there and the instructions are all right there, they should be able to, once they get in, be able to go, right, I need to do this, and it should be right there in front of them. Here's what I need to do. They do it, and then there's some sort of production or however it is that you're running your class. The other plus is that there is no scroll of death on the front of the course. I mean, if you've got 400 various files there and the students are going, right, well, which one do I do? Which one do I play with? Which one do I work with? Giving students those questions might be a good idea. But for me, that's anxiety raising. And I just want the teacher to tell me, do this. You finished? Now you do this. And that's how I would like to run my courses. Of course, the students are still going to have lots of questions about, what about this? What about that? Great. But if you've set up the books well and the students know what to do, those additional questions, you now have time for them. You now can facilitate conversations about the things that you're teaching. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this will make your teaching life easier. Although the setup, it's a lot of work. Gambare.